You don't fail at consistency because you're lazy. You fail because your system doesn't fit your life. You set goals that sound good. You build routines that look impressive. You commit to things you genuinely want to do. And then life happens. Your kids get sick. Work gets crazy. You miss one day, then two, then you just stop. And then you tell yourself you're not disciplined enough. But that's not it. The problem isn't you. The problem is the system. And today, I'm going to show you how to build consistency that actually lasts without burning yourself out or feeling like a failure every time life gets messy. I'm Patty the Connector, the problem solver queen. And what I care about is helping people move smarter, not harder. In the last episode, we talked about making decisions when you're overwhelmed, limiting the noise, trusting your gut, building the pivot. But today, we're talking about what happens after you make the decision. How do you actually stay consistent? Because here's what I used to believe. I thought consistency meant doing the same thing every single day, at the same time, in the same way, no matter what. But after years of trying to force routines that didn't fit my life, I learned this. Consistency isn't about doing the same thing every day. It's about showing up reliably in a way that fits your actual life. So today, I'm going to share what consistency actually means and why most people fail at it, and how I stay consistent without killing myself trying. And I'm going to give you 5 things you can do today to build consistency that lasts. Consistency isn't about doing the same thing every day. It's about showing up reliably in a way that fits your life. So let me be clear about what consistency actually means, because I think most people get this wrong. Consistency is not doing the same thing every single day. Consistency is showing up reliably over time in a way that moves you towards your goal. So the pattern is consistent, not necessarily the daily action. So let me give you some examples. For this channel, I record once a month, literally. My team edits, they schedule everything out for me, but you get a video every single week like clockwork. That's consistency. For working out, I take brisk walks twice a week for 30 minutes, not every day, but every week. That's consistency. So if you've been beating yourself up because you can't show up every single day, stop. You don't need to do it daily to be consistent. You just need to show up reliably in a way that fits your life. That makes sense? The pattern is consistent, not necessarily the daily action. Now, let me tell you how I learned this. I'm a full-time corporate director. I'm raising 2 daughters. I'm a dance mom. I'm building businesses, and I still show up for this channel every single week. So my proof is my daughters are excelling. I've achieved a lot of success at a very young age. I know I look like 19, but I'm not. And I didn't do it by killing myself. I did it by building systems that fit my life. But I didn't always look like this. For a long time, I was hard on myself, like really hard, because I'm an overachiever. So I'll tell myself, I have to work out every single day, no exceptions. And when I miss one day, oh man, I felt like I failed. But the reality is that wasn't my life. Sometimes my body wants the rest more than it wants to exercise, because sleep is important to me too. And I had to learn that rest isn't failure, it's part of the system. And once I got that, everything shifted for me. I stopped forcing daily routines that didn't fit. I stopped beating myself up for being human. And I started building systems that were actually sustainable. And that's when I became truly consistent, not because I got more disciplined, but because I got more realistic. So let me break down the 4 main reasons consistency fails for most people. The first reason, you have unrealistic expectations. You're trying to do something that doesn't fit what you actually have going on right now. You see someone working out for 90 minutes every day, so you think that's what you need to do. But you've got a full-time job, you got kids, maybe you running a little side hustle. When are you supposed to find 90 minutes? So you try, and then you fail, and then you think you're the problem, but you're not. Your expectation was just unrealistic for your life. The second reason is the wrong mindset. You beat yourself up every time you miss a day. Life happens. Your kids get sick. You've got an emergency at work. You're exhausted and you need rest. But instead of adjusting, you tell yourself you failed. And that guilt makes you quit altogether. You need a mindset that doesn't punish you for being a human. And the third reason is you don't have no breathing room. Your system is packed, like so tight. The one thing going wrong breaks the whole thing. It assumes every day will go exactly as planned. But life doesn't work like that. Things do come up. Energy levels change. And if your system doesn't have any breathing room, it's going to break. The fourth reason is copying someone else's system. What works for them won't work for you. You can use their system as a starting point. I like to say as a frame of reference. You can learn from it, but you've got to tailor it to fit your life, your schedule, your capacity, your priorities. Because if you're forcing yourself into someone else's system, you're going to burn out every time. What works for them won't work for you. Use it as a starting point, but tailor your system. All right, so let's make this practical. I'm going to give you 5 things you can do today to build consistency that actually lasts. The first thing I want you to do, I want you to batch your work. This one changed everything for me. Instead of trying to do a little bit every single day, I batch. So for this channel, I record once a month. My team edits and schedules everything out for me so I can show up for you every week without having to record every single week. The same thing with other areas of my life. I batch my errands, I batch my administrative work, I batch my content, because batching lets me be consistent without burning out. So today, ask yourself, what can I batch instead of doing daily? Meal prep on Sundays instead of cooking every night. Write multiple posts at once instead of scrambling daily. Whatever it is, batch it. The second thing I want you to do is set planning days. Every Sunday, that's my planning day. I sit down and I look at my calendar for the week. I make sure everything lines up. I make sure I'm not overcommitted. I make sure I've got breathing room. And that 1 hour on Sunday saves me so much stress during the week. So today, pick one day a week to plan. Look at your calendar. Look at your commitments and make sure your week is actually doable. The third thing I want you to do is don't overcommit beyond your capacity. That's very simple, but most people ignore it. If you only have 1 hour of capacity, don't commit to 5 hours of work. I used to do this all the time. I'll look at my things to do list, right? And I'll think, okay, I can fit all this in, but I couldn't. And then I feel like I failed. Now I'm realistic about my capacity. If I only have 1 hour, I commit to 1 hour of work, not 5. And that alone has made me so much more consistent. The fourth thing I want you to do is lower the barrier to entry. Consistency isn't about perfection. It's about showing up. So lower the barrier to entry, not your standards, your starting point. Make it so easy that you can't fail, because most people set the bar so high that they can't even get started. And then they quit before they build a habit. Who does that? So start smaller, not because you're aiming low, but because you're building something sustainable. For me, that looks like instead of working out for an hour every day, I take a brisk walk, right? Twice a week for 30 minutes. That's it. And I'm consistent with it because it's realistic for me. Once that becomes easy, I can add more. But I start small so I can actually stick with it. So today, ask yourself, what can I lower the starting point on so I can actually stay consistent? Is that 15-minute workout instead of 60? Is that 1 post a week instead of daily? Whatever it is, make it doable. And the fifth thing is a time box of activities. Now, this one is critical. If you don't set boundaries around your time, things will expand and drain your capacity. So I time box everything. Social media, 10 minutes a day, then I'm off. Emails, 30 minutes in the morning, 30 minutes in the afternoon. Administrative work, 1 hour on Fridays. Time boxing keeps me consistent because I don't let things take more than they should. So today, pick one thing you're going to time box. Set a timer. Do the thing, then move on. You don't need to kill yourself to be consistent. You just need to be realistic. So here's what I want you to take away from this. Consistency doesn't fail because you're lazy or undisciplined. It fails because your system doesn't fit your life. So stop trying to force routines that don't work. Stop beating yourself up when life happens. Stop copying someone else's system. Build a system that fits you. Batch your work. Plan your weeks. Don't overcommit. Lower the starting point. Time box your activities. Because when you do that, consistency becomes sustainable. And that's how grown people move. So I want you to leave this episode with clarity, not pressure. You don't have to fix everything at once. You just need to build one system that actually fits your life. And if you're living in survival mode and you need help getting grounded before you build anything, I created a free guide for you. It's called Exit Survival Mode. It'll help you recognize when you're running on tension instead of clarity and how to shift. And before I go, I just want to say thank you. Thank you for listening. And thank you for trusting me with these conversations. And thank you to everyone who shared these episodes with someone who needs them. If this conversation helped you feel like consistency is actually possible for you? Stay with me. This channel is built intentionally. Each episode stacks on the last. And if you keep showing up for this work, I'll keep showing up to do it with you. I'll see you on the next one.